Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video, we are going to be going over player roles, something that is huge to the game this year, changed the game quite a lot. At this point, I've used every single one a fair bit, some more than others, obviously, because there's some that I really like on this game. We're going to go through them and talk about what I think you should be using on your team in every different position. So, as we do it, we'll go to team management. Go to the tactics. This is my current tactic for anyone interested. I might do a video a bit more in depth about it tomorrow. I had fullback defend on because I was playing on old gen. Old gen is so attacking that you need fullback sat back really because there's so much space unless you do that. On new gen, I've got them a little bit more attacking. So starting off with keeper, you've got goalkeeper or sweeper keeper. I don't think it makes a huge difference personally. For me, I'm going to put whichever one I think the keeper has the better role on. So if he's got plus plus or plus on one, I will put that over the one that he doesn't. For me personally, I don't know if it makes a huge difference for keepers. Some of its positions I think are a bit more important, but I'd rather just go the one that they're more confident on. So I don't think that matters too much though. For fullbacks, it does depend a lot on the tactic. I honestly don't think false back's very good. Maybe there's some wacky tactics that you can do where you change. Are you sick to death of getting out teamed on FC24? Want that God squad you've always been dreaming of? Check out iggm.com today. The best and most reliable place to get coins for your ultimate team. Use the link in the description and code ZEL at checkout for a 5% discount. Check out iggm.com today. Positions uploads and falseback's got some use. For me, I don't like it though, and I think it just seems to leave a massive gap out wide. That's hard to cover. Maybe you could use it in like a 5 back. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it. Attacking wing back can be pretty good. You need probably 3 defenders though. I think in the 5 back attacking wing back's pretty good. So my hair is really annoying me today. I think in the 5 back attacking wing back can be pretty good, yeah. I don't really see any time you'd ever use the attack version of it other than maybe an all-out press tactic. Fullback, honestly, is normally my favourite. It's this or wingback. Wingback's basically a slightly more attacking version. If you have fullback and wingback, and you've got one that they've got a better role version on, I would go that. I think it's pretty good. Um, for defenders, as in centre backs, I think defender's the best one. I think ball playing defender can be pretty good. I wouldn't have 2 centre backs on ball playing defender. Honestly, I really don't like stopper. Maybe in a 5 back, you could have one on stopper if they've got plus plus. But I think it definitely, I don't know. I just don't think it's very consistent. I think you could have 2 defenders. You could have one ball playing and a defender. Maybe you can get away with a stopper, but I've never been able to make it work, and most pros don't tend to like it. So make that what you will. For right and left mids, we've got winger, wide playmaker, wide midfielder, and inside forward. For me, wide playmaker, I've not really been able to make it work very good. It just seems like winger, but not quite as good. I quite like winger. I don't like 2 wingers in the team. Inside forward's pretty good. I think that's the most common one people use. Wide midfielder, I think this one could be maybe good in like a 3 back. If you had a wide midfielder on balanced or defender, I think that would protect you a lot more. I just don't think there's that many player roles at the moment because a lot of cards don't have plus plus yet in a lot of these different positions. So bear that in mind. I think wing getting inside forward definitely the best, but it is somewhat tactical based, and what the roles they have is. For CDMs, without changing my formation, you've got centre half, you've got deep line playmaker, and holding. I think centre half is very niche, but can be very good in some. I think in like the narrow, if you had a centre half CDM with 2 attacking wing backs, so he drops and covers, I think that could work pretty well. I generally prefer deep line playmaker to holding. I think it just does and offers a little bit more altogether. However, you can, I think, if you have holding, you could have one on that and then one on deep like playmaker roaming. I think a lot of roles are dependent on what your team is. So if your players have plus plus, it's going to be a lot better than just nothing. And how the tactic works. So some roles will synergize quite well together. For centre mids, I don't really like half winger. It's one that I've never really used. I tried it, just don't like it. Holding, really good at times, but again, I generally prefer deep line playmaker. That's just my opinion on that. Box to box is one of my favourites. I think this works really well. I think two box to box can work pretty good, but they do need pretty decent stamina. Playmaker is really good as well. I think the two most common that I see lots of players have are box to box and playmaker, but I think these can work pretty well in general. You can see my team have got box to box and a playmaker. For left and right wingers, I think inside forward is probably the best in formations where you've got two wingers pushed up quite aggressively. Inside forward's really good because they attack and cause a lot of issues for the opponent. I think that this formation's really good, but there's a lot of people who are going to have a lot of left wingers and right wingers in terms of the better roles. I think you can play the 4-2-4 just for anyone interested, but you probably want your fullbacks on defend at that point. For cams, what roles do cams have again? We'll go on to Patelis and actually click on this because I forget. I don't want to get these wrong. Okay, yeah, cams half winger. Maybe in like the 4-2-3-1, you could have half wingers. My favourite in this generally is the playmaker. I think the playmaker sits in the middle and finds a lot of good space and makes a lot of good runs. I think Shadow Striker can be pretty good. I think in the 4-4-1-1, the Shadow Striker is pretty good. Generally speaking, I would go Shadow Striker or Playmaker, whichever one suits my player generally. The pluses and plus at this point are really important. I think as we move on in the year, we probably get cards that get 2, 3, 4 pluses. I think it'll be a bit easier to experiment. For strikers, you have target forward, false nine, poacher, and advance forward. Honestly, think all of these have their uses. I think false nine's the hardest to make work consistently. They do make some pretty good runs with it at times, but sometimes they just drop too deep. Target forward's honestly very good, and it only tends to be on players who have quite good strength and height. So I've got Nunes with this. He's got 95 jumping, 88 strength, 6'2". I wish I had press proven, but Bruiser, great strength from performing physical tackles. They do win more 50-50s with it. Target forwards kind of back into the centre backs, hold them off, and then you can play 1-2s that are really good. It works really well in my opinion. Durant has this as well. So I do like that. I wouldn't have two. I think a false nine as a solo striker doesn't really work very well, but maybe with two it can. Poacher, I wouldn't use two poachers, but one poacher in your team just making crazy runs in behind can be very good. And then advance forward is very good as well. That's kind of a hybrid of all of them. Somewhat play the way that it suits your team would be what I would argue a lot of the time. That Mbappe's just crazy, by the way. And yeah, that would be my advice in general. Hopefully that's helped you out of all the different player roles. As always, keep it spicy. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.